Oh, hello. How are you? Good to see you. My name is Ben Moseby. Welcome to Crafters TV. It is just gone 5 o'clock here in the UK. It feels later. It feels like we've been busy today. I can't say too much, but it has been a busy day behind the scenes for all involved in the show. We were in early, doing stuff. I can't say too much about what that stuff was, but it has been a long day. It's been a fun day. It feels like we should have done the show already, if I'm being honest, doesn't it? It feels like we should have done this show. But we're here for launch party, another 2 hours. 2 hours of, well, all of your favourite launches from recent times. Things like the Sheena Lino stamps, which we're going to be looking at first in the show. Things like the buttons and buckles. Things like the Thanksgiving collection. Loads of all those launches that you might have missed. So it's a good opportunity, if you did miss them, to see them in action and pick them up if you love them. And also, it is a good opportunity, if you've already got them, to pick up more hints, tips, inspiration and demonstration from Craig. Now, I'll say a few of those in just a few moments' time. Just remember, over on the website, lots to shop for. Our end of summer sale continues, and there is a 30% off selected paper pads over on the website today as well. So do make sure you shop there. And also in the show, we are doing a giveaway. We found out just before the start of the show, somebody is going to bag themselves a fantastic creator card die. This one is called Birds of Love. Now, basically, we're going to give this away to somebody who comments. It's worth $24.99. It's going to be given away to somebody who comments. Join the usual chat, ask the questions, anything you like. But it is today, because this is obviously a bird die, it's National Pet Bird Day. So we want to know, over the course of the show, do you have a pet bird? If you do, let us know all about it. Let us know its name. Let us know what type of bird it is. But also, if you want to send in pictures as well, you can. And, no, let's do it all properly. And if you do have a pet bird like, which are the ones that talk? Parrots and?
Cockatoos.
Cockatoos. Then, if you can get a video of it saying, like, maybe you can get it to go, maybe you can get it to say, Crafters TV, Crafters TV, something like that. We would love that. We would love that if you could. But, you know, on the lower end of the thing, just chat to us about birds that you might have or birds that you have had over the years. Right, we'll say a few of those in just a few moments' time. First of all, though, let's go over and say hello to the man who's going to provide all of the inspiration, probably a few laughs as well as we go through the show. It's a man who is sporting the bushiest beard in the world of craft, the one and only Mr. Craig Laird. I am digging this. If I could, I would.
Do you know something? The amount of people today, Katie, who's Sarah's her assistant, I've not seen her in, well, a good wee while, and I've seen her for the first time today. She was like, oh my gosh, Craig, you really do suit that. And so many people have been saying that I really suit it. I'm telling you, I've been batting Tracy off with a bat. She's been all over me trying to get her hands on my beard. But yeah, a lot of lovely compliments, so thank you very much. Let's have a look at the finished samples that we've got here when it comes to... You're going to cut my beard off, are you?
Tracy!
Think about it. Do you know how long it took me to grow? I don't know what you're laughing at, Nicola. I can see you. I can see you.
Can I just ask a question as well, right?
Of course you can.
Right, so I should probably just do what I want kind of thing, but whenever I try and grow a moustache, nobody ever really likes my moustache. No, I know you do, Nicola, but most people are like, oh, I don't like moustache. But whenever he grows like a bigger beard, everyone likes it. So if I do grow a moustache again, can you just say, even if you don't, just say you like it? Because I want to grow it, but then I don't want everyone to go, oh, I don't like it. So in November, well, actually, end of next month we'll be doing that, won't we? Going to do November again?
I don't know. It depends if it still looks good.
Are you just going all big and bushy now, or are you just going to keep growing it?
I'm planning it. I will need to kind of, you know, neaten it ever so slightly, because when it gets to the sides, it just goes out that way.
Yeah. But you're going to grow it long?
You know, like Jim the Anvil Neidhart from the
yeah,
wrestling.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Bret Hart's tag team partner.
Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, rightio, when it comes to the show here today, what we're going to have a look at first of all, now I've got a selection of samples from a few of the collections tonight, but we are going to come back and have a look at the Lino stamps to start with. So you've got that ability to create that silhouette feel when it comes to so many of your ink pads. We're going to incorporate our launch from earlier on today to show how you can start to ink through them and then incorporate Sheena's collection. We've got the belts and the buckles, or the buttons and the belts.
Buttons and buckles.
Buttons or these sorts of
Careful.
things. You've got all of these. So this is really good to then make your male and your masculine cards.
Yeah.
You've got your buckles, you've got your belt, you've got your buttons as well. You've got keys, chains, all of that are incorporated within the set. It will work so well with the male masculine collection. And then freshly launched yesterday was the Giving Thanks collection, and you can see a few samples, and we'll be having a look at that all going well later on in the day, the show. If we have a little bit of time, got a cracking deal with the texture embossing folders, we'll maybe try and incorporate them as well. But yeah, we're going to have a play when it comes to these collections, Benjamin.
Did you just call me Benjamin?
I did indeed.
Ah. I was trying to think of a way to expand your name, but there is no way, is there?
No.
No.
I get called Craigie or Craigle
Yeah.
sometimes, or the Craiginator.
Who calls you the Craiginator?
Or the Craigster.
The
I
Craigster.
prefer either the Craigster or the Craiginator. You
Hey,
pick.
well, I will call you the Craiginator. Come on, do it. Jan's back on the socials. The way this show started off, I bet she wishes she isn't. We'll behave, Jan.
We
We'll
will,
behave.
promise.
Promise. Vanessa joins us from Florida. Carletta joins us in Arkansas. Hello, Lois, who says it's live at 5. It is, Lois, it is. Terry H says, hi from Iowa. Hello, Terry. Says, I'm working and listening to my favourite craft show. Thank you. We appreciate you. Zoe Carver's in from West Sussex. Jeffrey Langley says, good evening. Lord Ben and Mr. Magnificent.
Right, thank you.
Crafty Craigie Bagel and the outstanding, spectacular CTV crew. Jessica's in. Kirsty D's in. On the subject of birds, Stephen Nicole said, so Ben and Craig will be flapping around the studio. No change there then. He'll be winging it.
No, not winging it on this show, Benjamin.
All right, the Craiginator. Rebecca says, I don't know, but growing up, I don't now, but growing up, I had cockatiels. I have fond memories of my uncle who kept birds. Stephen says, I used to tame birds when I was younger. The parrots and cockatiels and many other birds. Shaz Earl says, I mean, come on. This is like a song. I have 9 canaries, 8 budgies, 3 diamond doves, and 10 finches.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
What are all their names, please, Shaz? Let us know. And picture, please.
That's a bird, isn't it? A partridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kirsty D says, my granddad has a budgie called Duke, who used to talk a lot. His favourite phrase was, nobody puts baby in the corner. We would say your name is Duke and you are in the corner. No birds for me, says Trish Estelle. I'm terrified of them. Was that because of the movie, wasn't it? The movie. And Hillary says, when I first met my husband, they had a really irritating budgie called Sparky and nobody liked him. Poor old Sparky.
Oh, Sparky.
What was wrong with Sparky? Oh, dear. Keep the bird comments coming through. We're talking birds because it's National Pet Bird Day and we're giving away a credit card, Birds of Love die at the end of the show. Right, Sheena. The bold lino stamps, the showstopper we have still just about got in stock if you want to grab it. It's a brilliant showstopper as well. The stamps are incredible. Sheena was talking about the lino effect that these can create. You know, people back in the day used to take lino and then used to take their tools, dig them out, create different shapes to stamp with. This is creating that effect without the fuss, without the faff. But as Craig's already chatted about too, you know what? If you just want a lovely set to create the most stunning silhouettes with, create your own backgrounds as Sheena was doing in the show and create silhouettes, these are incredible. Now, you can get them on their own, but I would push you towards the showstopper because you'll get all of the stamps plus some free stuff within the bundle. So this one is your branching out. All those beautiful leaves and foliage, 3 sentiments within there as well. So celebrate, hello, wish, and for you. Then you've got this one here, very popular as an individual, the blossom, and as if we planned it, the bird, blossom and bird. So again, you've got that beautiful floral swag. You've got your little dandelion clock flower there, the beautiful little birdie. We gave him a name. I'm struggling to remember what he was called now. You've also got Dream and Believe. This is the luscious lupins. Remember back to the launch the launch show, we were talking about opening our own pub called the Lupin. Wishing you all the best. There's your lupin. There's your butterflies. Love the fact that you've got a butterfly in flight there, and then at the side profile of the lupin. And last but by no means least, the most popular individually is the poppy pods. Nice that you've got the sorry in there as well, and with thanks. You get all of those included in the showstopper. If you go for the showstopper, you also pay for your multi-purpose cardstock, and then for free, we are going to give you your stamp cleaning solution. So that's how the showstopper breaks down. It is $29.57 or $35.87. Then if you go for that showstopper, what we can give you for half price are these shimmer watercolor palettes. This is the reason why a lot of people went for that, because you get your sunbeam and you get your moonbeam, not for the price that you'll be seeing on screen, not for that price, but for half that price. So £19.20 or $23.20 for the 2 sets. It's a really great way to either stock up on these or try them for the first time. Must just mention as well, that if you just want the stamps on their own, they are available individually. And if you buy the stamps as an individual bundle, so the 4 sets together, you buy 3, get 1 free. So there's lots of different options for you as to how you get around that. Loads of bird comments coming through. We'll chat more about birds in just a few moments, but let's get into the demo. In fact, a couple more while Craig gets ready. Sarah says, when I was growing up, I had 2 parakeets. One had blue feathers. Oh, I was just padding. I thought you were about to... You looked like you were doing something, so I was being professional.
Just waiting patiently.
All right. I thought you started going like that, so I was just filling time. I'll just read this one, then we'll come over.
Yeah, you just carry on.
I was being really professional.
You were.
It was done for all the right reasons. Sarah Thompson says, when I was growing up, I had 2 parakeets. One had blue and white feathers, and the other had green and yellow feathers. They were beautiful. It's been so long that I don't remember their names, though. Ah. And Zoe says, I might have a few chickens and ducks. 47. Yep. I've had budgies and a canary in the past, and I grew up with my dad's racing pigeons. Right. It's time to go over for the first demo of the show. And Craig is going to do a beautiful project with Sheena's bold Lino stamps.
Actually, can you give me a couple of minutes? I'm not quite ready just yet.
Isabel said.
Right, here. Well, let's delve in here, Ben. Let's have a look at a few more other finished samples here, just to show how you can then, of course, create that silhouette aspect, but maybe coming in with your sunbeam or moonbeam palettes, your pigment, maybe coming in with your water base, whether it is your water reactive, your shimmers. I'm going to go and use my absolute favourites being the water reactives in a moment. But whether you're going to go with the pastel tones, the bright tones, I mean, look at the Aurora Borealis there in the backdrop, just creating that.
My favourite card that she showed. It's
it's absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. Not quite a DL card, more of a slimline tall card, but yeah, absolutely spectacular. As we always like to say, even when Sheena isn't here, please do make sure you go across onto our Facebook group, being the Inkettes, and I think it's just a question or two just to answer, just to make sure, you know, that you are legit, you're not a robot or anything like that. And then, of course, you get accepted. And when it comes to all of Sheena's products and launches, you'll find our incredible samples as well from our design team with the finished examples in there for you to check out. So there's some for you to get inspired with.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do here is we're going to keep it really, really simple.
Good.
And when it comes to our card, what I've got, watercolour card, and I've got this at 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Now, Ben, I'm not going to be using a lot of water, so you could use the white card that's in the bundle if you want to. And then what I'm also going to do is, essentially, we're going to frame our stamped image. So we've got my frame. Now, when it comes to that circle nesting die, anyone that's wanting to know, that is 4 inches in diameter. Created that frame there. So that will, in the end, frame our image once we've done it. So what I've done is that same 4-inch die, I've just drawn around it in a pencil. It's just given me a rough guide where I'm going to be inking. Yeah. So I don't want to waste all my ink going all the way around the edges when I don't need to. And we can see here, you won't see the pencil line once you've done. So it does give me that nice little indication as to where I'm going to go. So what I'm going to do to start with, really simple, I'm going to go in with my honey pot, being our water reactive, and I'm going to create a base of that colour. I'm going to go in with my blending brush, and I'm just going to go all the way throughout, and I'm keeping in with that circle. Not overly concerned if I go out. As I say, it's only a guide, Ben, just to make sure that I don't go out the line and waste my ink. That's all that it is. If you do go right to the edges or don't do the pencil circle, it's no big deal. It's no issue. It just means then you'll just be inking up your card where it's not needed. So I'm going to go in. I'm just going to keep this smooth, but you can go in with your textures. And what I mean by that is if you were, let's take a bit of white smooth, and we're kind of going off piece just for a second. But if this is the centre of what we are just doing there, you can come along with things such as your cardstock or your cardstock edges, Ben. So if I bring in another one here, if I was to even just roughly tear this, Ben, and then I can just go over the edge here.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing at first, you don't think there's really any difference, but as we start to then lift this up, look, you've got the hills there in the background. How smart is that?
Yeah.
We could go along further up, and then we can do more. And the only reason I'm not doing it on here is I've got something else planned that I'm going to do. And if I was to do this, you're not going to see it in the end with what I'm doing, so it's pointless. But it is nice just to show you how you can start to get, I mean, look at that, how smart is that?
Yeah.
Working your way along, and you can keep building up. It's the same colour, it's not 3 different colour families of the yellows, it's still the honey pot, but because we keep building and building, and we're starting to get all of that definition when it comes to all the different fronts of whether it's the mountains, you know, we can go along, and you don't even have to go all the way across if you don't want to. You can just start to go part across. So that sort of thing you can start to do as well. What I would say tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we've got a masterclass when it comes to backgrounds.
Yeah.
So we'll expand on that a little bit more come tomorrow. But what we're going to do is let's just go in and we're going to keep building up that honey pot. So I've got a nice smooth layer onto the back of my watercolour card. Building that up, we're just going to keep going back and forwards, back and forwards. And then at this point, let's take my water spritz, if I've got enough water, yeah, I do. And I'm going to do what I love to do, and I'm going to do the finger flick.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to then just spritz into my hand, and then I'm just going to flick, rest the wrist, flick the water, and then what that's going to do is do the faux bleach. Essentially, it's acting as if it's like a bleach, and it's pulling up the colour.
Yep.
Now, the longer that you leave it, the more it's going to lift that colour.
Wow, yeah.
But I'm going to then just leave that for a second or two, and then take a little bit of kitchen roll, lift that up.
Ooh, yes.
Now, can you imagine what that would be like if we take what we've done there
Yeah.
and done
Go on.
the same? So, flick with a wrist, rest your wrist and flick with your wrist when it comes to the water. I'll just do a little bit,
Yep.
and then leave that for a second or two. Go in, lift, and you can start to see the effect that you'll get. So what I'm going to do, just for a moment or two, Ben, I'm going to go quiet while I heat set this with my heat tool, and then we can go on to the next step.
Well, boy, oh boy, I've got plenty of bird chat. A lot of it's quite sad.
Is it?
Hi from East Kilbride, says Isabel. My husband always wanted a budgie, but no, I couldn't have one as I'm allergic to feathers. Lucky for me.
All right, did you say?
Yeah.
Ah.
Isabel Laird, your namesake.
Scotland.
Hello to Stephanie Theodos, who joins us. Hello. Wanda says, I got gifted the family pest. It was a parrot named Rico. He was awful. You didn't dare walk near him. He would projectile poop on you.
Oh.
Always squawking and screaming. The cat was terrified. So were the kids. I put his cage on the patio on a sunny day so we could enjoy the sun. I woke up about 3 a.m. to an awful noise. Just remembered I'd forgotten to bring Rico inside. I never found any sign of him. 40 years ago, and I still feel guilty. The critter that was after him was probably wishing they hadn't.
Aww.
Margaret says, we had a parakeet who was the most vicious bird ever. We had to wear gloves to feed him, otherwise the bit was very sore. And Helen says, I mean, this is sad. I had 2 budgies when I was very young, Bill and Ben. Mom would put them outside in summer, but my brother opened the cage door as he thought they would like to fly, and we never saw them again.
Oh, really things.
And Pamela says, my dad had a minor bird, and when you used to visit, it shouted, give us a job, among other things that I can't mention. Love to you guys. Thanks, Pamela. More to come.
Poor birdies. Poor birdies.
Poor wee birdies.
Poor birdies. Now here I've taken a piece of the white cardstock within the bundle, and I've gone along and I've taken one of the dies that launched earlier, being the Morning Sunrise, and I've cut it into my card. Now you can see I've already used this one when I was having a little play the other day. What I have done is put a little bit of a repositionable spray onto the back, and then I'm going to position it so where I start to see the top of that pencil line, I'm going to kind of get that in that same position. So we're going to get a lot of that circle being filled with this die cut.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to press. So notice I went in with a honey pot first, spritz first, and then I'm going to layer over the top with the orange. I'm going back in with the blending brush, and then we're just going to go in. And I'm still going to be delicate because although you can stencil through your die cuts, the more that you do that on the same bit of cardstock, the more essentially that you'll start to saturate the card and it can start to tear ever so slightly.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to then ensure that you've got one that you can use for a long time, just cut it into acetate, and then of course that's going to last you a lot longer. But by doing it into cardstock, you're going to be able to use it a good few times, and then once it's no good, discard it, and then just die cut yourself another one.
I love the choice of colours again there. They work beautifully together, don't they?
They do. And then because you're going to get that little bit of that texture away in the background of the water spritz with the faux bleach and the honey pot, but then when we take that off, look at that, how fab, setting that backdrop. So then we can come along in with our stamping platform. And for what I'm going to do here, you definitely want to use our stamping platform or a stamping platform. And then I'm going to put my discs into place. Let's then go in with the poppy pods. Now this one, Ben, hasn't been used yet. So usually, you know that I would come along and kind of prime it with our translucent clear. But I'm going to give myself maybe 3-4 impressions in one. So therefore, I don't really need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I still see my circle. So I'm just going to make sure that I see some of those poppy pods. And I'm going to go within the centre. I'm going to just kind of eyeball that as well. And then once I'm happy, pop that back, move it back. I want that full-on block silhouette. So I'm going to go in with my quick dry, and I'm going to go in with the Noir Black. And then I'm going to ink this up. So let's give that a really, really good coverage. And what my way to do, I usually do with our quick dry anyway, and that is press it into place. And because we're using the stamping platform, Ben, I'm going to intensify that, and I'm going to keep doing that maybe 3-4 times to make it really strong, really dark, and then that'll really stand out from that backdrop.
Keep the stories and comments coming through. There's loads. Lots of you as well jumping in to buy this, I hear, which is marvellous. If you do grab this today, of course, do go back and watch the launch show from last Wednesday, wasn't it? With Sheena. Plenty of hints, tips and ideas with her. I used the torn paper technique, says Rebecca, for snow hills at the weekend, and I loved it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Carol Byrne, Big Winner Byrne, says I'll have to try the torn paper when I'm back home. And Stephanie says, ooh, a masterclass for backgrounds. Sounds like a keeper. I'll be watching that as much as I can. That is tomorrow night, this time tomorrow night. Masterclass for you. First up tomorrow at midday, it is a 2-hour craft vault. Loads of great deals to pick up, which I think will only be available in that show. Look at the impression here, though. So what's this now? Is this the 4th time you're going down?
This is going to do the 4th time, and I'll just leave it at the 4th. Now, you could heat emboss that if you wanted to instead. Obviously, you'd need to use a pigment ink pad. What I would say though, Ben, if you are going to do that, make sure your backdrop is fully dried.
Yeah, yeah.
Even although that looks dry at the moment, because the orange is your water reactive, that will still hold some of your embossing powder. So you just need to make sure that it's fully dried, heat set it with your heat gun,
Yeah.
and then you know that you're going to be good to go. You'll be able to sprinkle your embossing powder without it transferring to the back. And then what I'm also then going to do, now I could have done this at the exact same time, but within this set, you've got sorry, and then you've got with thanks. So I'm just going to go in with the sorry. And as I say, you could have done this at the exact same time when you've done the poppy pods. And I'm going to repeat that. Because it's a smaller die, I might not necessarily have to do it again the 4 times, but we can just go in. And in actual fact, sometimes it's nicer if you don't and you keep it a bit light. Actually, I like that. It's a lot lighter compared to the actual strongness of the poppy pods. Move that out of the way, and that is it. That's how simple. If I bring in my tape runner, and this is going to go onto a 6x6 card blank, just a white one. Let's bring this one in here. So I'm going to pop that into there, like so, press that in, and then taking that circle frame, these are just a few black petals there, lifted this on foam pads to create that height. You can keep it flat, but something like this, I would recommend lift it on a little bit of height, Ben. Whether it's just a mil or 2 foam pads or a tiny bit of glue gel, give it a little bit of lift, because it'll also give it a natural drop inner shadow. So let's take these off here, and then let's go, it's not really, doesn't matter which, I think I did have it that way, not that it matters. White card, black card, into the middle, framing it, and then there we go. Framing the colour, creating that backdrop with the faux bleaching with your honey pot. We used our dye from earlier on today and went through with the orange water reactive. That's your noir black quick dry. You can use the jet black if you want, and then gone in. So the poppy pods I stamped 4 times, and that sorry, I just stamped the once.
Absolutely brilliant. Send in your love for that project, please. And don't forget, if you haven't yet got these stamps, you can get them within the showstopper. Proving very popular again tonight. It's a great price, isn't it? That one is the one, if you want to go for it on its own, the poppy pods, if you want to recreate Craig's card, that's the set that you need to go for. But you get them all, of course, within the showstopper. Your luscious lupins. Then you've got your bird and blossom. And then this set here, which is your branching out. As I say, if you just want to go for those 4 as a bundle, you can buy 3, get 1 free. However, everyone pretty much tonight, go for the showstopper, buy those, and then the multi-purpose card, and we give you your stamp cleaning solution for absolutely nothing. Just to mention, before we do a few more comments, the Midi is back in stock. I haven't got it in the box, but you know what it looks like. It is a brilliant machine. Of course, again, it's all about the simplicity without the electricity. 6x9 is the size of your folder that you're going to be using in here. So again, it's going to take most of your die sizes, but certainly most of the dies that we do. All you're limited to, of course, with this is the size of your cardstock. That's really it. But it's portable, it's powerful, it's easy to use. Great to have alongside an electronic machine when you don't need to engage the machine, you just need to do some quick die cutting or a quick emboss. It's absolutely perfect for that. And remember, it's the simplicity of this which is the brilliance. You're folder based here, so you're doing all your die cutting within a folder, and then if you want to do your embossing folders, 3D embossing folders just run straight through. 2D embossing folders, you've got your plastic shim with this, which you pop through with your folder, boom, you're done. You've got the suckers on the bottom, so wherever you place it, it's going to stay in place. It is robust, it is easy to use. So with the festive day, less than 100 days away, what a great way to maybe treat someone in your family to their first machine. What a great way to get the kids potentially into crafting as well, but also what a great way for you to start crafting and indeed have a machine like this alongside your electronic machine back in stock at that brilliant price of £55.99 or $87.99, and you get your plastic folder and your plastic shim in here too. Obviously my favourite machine, the one you'll see me use if I ever craft along with the guys on shows. And as far as manual machines, you all know you love your Junior, you love your G2, but you're a big Midi fan as well, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always at the side of my craft desk at home. sometimes even if it's a smaller die, even if it's a sizable die, because although the G2 and the Gemini Junior is quick, I can be a lot quicker sometimes just with the manual MIDI machine. As Ben was saying, it's folder based, so put the die on the card inside the folder, run it through. Now, I firmly believe that with the Gemini range of electric machines, the actual plate configuration isn't hard to remember, but still, it is one that you do need to remember.
You speak to producer Johnny, he's been trying to remember it for 17 years.
Has he really? Still struggle,
Yeah.
Still struggle. You don't need to struggle when it comes to the MIDI, because all that you need to remember is the folder. Flip and rotate the folder so that you get so much more use out of them. They are consumable, so you might want to stock up so you've got some there spare. But what you're going to find as well, if you are new to it, maybe you've never seen it or heard of it before, when it comes to an embossing folder that's 2D embossing folder, all you need is to put your card in the folder and then sit the folder on the shim that you get included, run it through. A 3D embossing folder, you don't need anything. A 3D embossing folder, put the card in the folder and run it through without anything. What I would say though, if it's any other branded embossing folders, you can absolutely use them. You might just have a little bit of a play when it comes to adding a shim or so, just because some folders are different thicknesses depending on the brand, but you can use them. But it's just good to have on the move. It's good just to have it at the side, quickly bring it out, run it through. You can still come along and do different techniques like letterpress with your folders and that. Same amount of power, Ben, as the G2, as the original, and even you can then just have those suckers just to the bottom there. So there's a glass mat, absolutely fine. Strong suction, and then just to release it, you're just going to rock it forward or back, and then you're good to go. Move it to the side. It's nice, it's compact, and you know that probably maybe round about 90 to 95% of your dies, certainly my dies at home, they're going to go through the Gemini Midi. Don't use your multi-craft dies, too thick. And other than your wafer-thin silver dies, ours and other brands as well, they'll go fine, absolutely, through your MIDI.
Thanks everybody for all the chat coming through. A few more bird comments, and loads. I had a pair of parakeets when I was married to Samantha Cheney. My ex's young brother and sister visited one summer. They were so loud, I think they scared the female to death, and then the male died from loneliness. This is what I mean, there's some very sad stories in here. Pat says, these are like Debbie Fisher pet stories, these, aren't they? Pat says, I grew up with two parakeets. One was blue and white and the other was green and yellow. They had the freedom of our house, but they were very, very well trained. They never made a mess. They would sit on my shoulder even when I was trying to do my chores. And they would also sit and love to eat mashed potatoes off my dinner plate when I was younger. I like that one. We inherited a parrot, says Elaine, that lived in the front of a grooming store. All he did was bark and bite. You sure it wasn't a dog? And Crystal says, we had a cockatiel that loved riding on my... It put me off because it said we had a cocktail, but obviously a cockatiel. We had a cockatiel that loved riding on my dad's shoulder. My dad would also feed him Raisin Bran cereal. PT loved my dad. We are going to take a short break. We're going to come back with more of your bird stories and also more of your lovely comments. Opportunity to check out, don't forget on the show, still to come, the buttons and buckles. We're going to go to that next after this short break.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Day to day looks like, on a normal day when I'm working from home, get up, breakfast, quick phone call with my daughter, and then I'm up in the craft room and I spend all my time in the craft room. If it's spending a day with the grandkids, that's it. That's my best part of the day, just spending time with family and those gorgeous little grandkids of mine. The best part of the day when I'm at work is when I go on air, because I absolutely love it. Both. I prefer a shower in the morning. I feel fresher. I feel that I can tackle my day. However, depending on how that day's been, I also would have a double shower, so I'd have one in the morning and one at night too. Absolutely, 100% coffee. Will always be coffee. And flavoured coffee is my favourite at the moment. Dare I say it's a full English breakfast, the full works, the beans, the tomatoes, the bacon, the sausage, and everything else that goes with a traditional English breakfast. Craft along. Every day of the week. I absolutely love going through the stages from the start of a project to the end of a project. So craft along is definitely my favourite choice. I can't leave without my lipstick. It's a given thing. I once didn't have a lipstick on me and Leanne helped me out that day. Kick off the shoes, sit down for a couple of minutes, just gather my thoughts and then grab my tea.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come in to work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends, and this is my happy place. I do like to see everyone, and also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Early riser without a doubt, never a night owl. I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of He-Man. Both. I like pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. Craft along because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog, unless I'm coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch. My favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like. Lots of selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes to the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for all the lovely comments coming through. Loads of comments flying in for our credit card diets, the birds of love. Chat away to us. We've been asking specifically for bird-related chat. Do you have a bird? Have you had a bird? Send in pictures of your birds as well. If you've got a bird which talks, send in a video. I'd love it if we could get like a budgie or like a parrot on, you know, going, Crafters TV. That would be the pinnacle of tonight's show, along with the demos, obviously. Beautiful cards, Craig. If we could get like a budgie going, beautiful cards, Craig. Ah,
Dagger in the heart, that was.
nice demo. Ah, who's a pretty boy then?
Do you know how much time I've put into these demos today, Benjamin?
I do. It would be pretty cool though, wouldn't it, to get a parrot going, Crafters TV.
It would actually,
Ah.
yeah.
Like your beard, Craig.
Good. Get a bird to say that.
Yeah. If you can. That'll be a great gift for anyone, says Elizabeth, that card. Oh, sorry, the MIDI. And Hilary says, I love my MIDI. I use it more than the G2. And I use my MIDI more than I use my G2, says Pat. I still get frustrated with the machine sometimes. As I say, simplicity without electricity is the MIDI. And Sarah says, I love working with my MIDI when I'm crafting on my couch. Sometimes I don't feel like sitting at my craft table, so I bring my MIDI and my dies to my lap desk that I use when having a snack. And I know we're moving on from that, but that is a really good point, isn't it? You can craft on your lap with the manual machines. Do you ever do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't say that I do, only because I'm really quite strict with myself and I keep everything in my craft room.
You're right.
I try not to have anything out. I try and have that as my, the rest of my domain is just to be like, just relax and chill. I will do, if I've got any colouring prep, then I'll maybe do that on the couch or out in the garden. Saying that, absolutely, it's the great thing with the MIDI machine because of the size of it. If you've got a lap tray or a lap table, or then of course if you've got like a dinner tray, then you can just sit them on there, just move them to the side, and then you can start to die cut. Maybe have little trays ready to go, die cut, pop the bits out, and then you're ready there, organised. And it just means you can relax, chill, while watching the TV on the big screen, and then do all your die cutting.
And Kirsty D says, thank you, Kirsty. I knew I could rely on you. I'm trying to find a video of Duke talking for you, Ben. I mean, that would be the next best thing. Buttons and buckles. The 8-piece showstopper here for you. This is a brilliant deal, and it is 33 dies that you're going to be getting, and somehow we've still got stock of the showstopper remaining of all of your buttons and all of your buckles. It is a lovely way to make sort of full projects, or indeed just embellish with these beautiful buttons. You've got your locks and your keys there. You've also got all of these different style buckles too, and then the belts to be able to go with them. I love the fact that we include a little pocket watch in here too, and then also the little pocket could be for a shirt or a waistcoat. So you've got the ability here to make lots of different projects, maybe more masculine sort of skewed projects, and certainly as we were chatting about, you know, belts to maybe go across the front of notebooks if you want to work with those. Key to the door cards, you know, for 21st cards, you know, new baby cards with all these little buttons on too. It's a brilliant set, right? And I think the showstopper is excellent for the fact that we have, I think, paired together one of the best showstoppers we've done, because it's everything which really does relate to the actual product itself. You've got ribbon, so you know, if you want to use any of those buckles to thread ribbon through, you can, and it is the 9-piece ribbon set from the Vintage Halloween collection. You're getting those 3 colours there in 3 different sizes. Also in this set, and this is what you're paying for, is your Modern Man topper pad. I love this. Lots of snippability in here, cutting into all of those different toppers, cutting into all those different sentiments and tags and banners, and of course, you know, covers off lots of those kind of hobbies which are most associated with a man. But of course, you know, if you want to make cards for a lady golfer or a lady who loves to cycle, then absolutely, you know, you can use this for your ladies' cards as well. But you know, we've tried to focus on those more sort of masculine things, because you guys always say it's tough to make cards for the blokes. So in here, we've made it easy. Tennis, flying, golf, you know, mountaineering is in here. You've got things like beers and football and camping. It's all in here. Loads of scenes here, which, well, we've already snipped into these, but you can snip into these. And what's really nice is you can either stamp onto those if you want to, or stencil, or indeed just add some of your toppers onto those as well to create some really cool scenes. And the toppers, again, all things like fishing, in the greenhouse, in the garden. You know, you've got barbecuing, golfing, wine, the trophy there, football, there's soccer included as well. So plenty in here. If you're ever stuck for those more masculine projects, then you've got lots in here to be able to be working with. Now, all of that you pay for within the showstopper, but the showstopper is excellent for the fact because then we give you for free your glossy highlights, which I think you know, you're going to be using a lot in this set, particularly to give some real sort of realistic looks to those amazing buttons. You're also going to get in this set for free your 2 paint markers, so in the gold and in the silver. Again, really nice to add that to all of the belts and buckles and the keys in there too. We're also going to give you the Twisted Knot embossing folder, which again will work so nicely with all of the elements in this collection. And if that weren't good enough, for free, we are also going to give you the amazing cardstock from the Day of the Dead collection. Love this. It's luxury cardstock, not linen cardstock this time, but cardstock which will work absolutely brilliantly with all of the goodies in this set, because you've got the 8 sheets of black, you've got 8 sheets of the most reflective gold mirror card, and then 8 sheets of the most beautiful, stunning, luxurious satin mirror card as well. And all of that for £30.38 or £37.51 is an absolute steal. Grab it whilst you can. Not much of the showstopper left for you, so get in on this show and grab it. A really useful collection, and it was one of those where a lot of people had said, couldn't really kind of see that the light bulb moment with this, but then as soon as the demo started happening, people were like, now I know why I need it. We've got less than 100, and Craig's got a quick demo on this one for you. Really useful collection, this, isn't it?
I do, and I'm going to hold my hands up, Ben, and say exactly what you just said there.
Yeah.
When I got my set quite a wee while ago, got them home, and I looked at them, and I was like, what am I going to do with them?
Yeah.
What exactly, you know, what is the point? What is the purpose? That is honestly what I said, exactly until Ben said, you start to cut, you start to play, you start to mix things, you start to then cross things over, you start to create cards just using them because you've got all the different components from the buttons.
Yeah.
And of course, you start to then die cut them multiple times, layer them up to create that chipboard effect. Go over with things such as your gilding waxes, your metallic pens. You can start to do your mixed media if you're down that route, monochromatic look, rustic route. There's just so many ways, and it's one of those that you'll dip into. Maybe you won't always use the full set together, but you'll use elements and components all individually, or maybe you are going to do them together. So what I've done here is I've taken a sheet of our double-sided adhesive sheets, and then I'm just going to then press my black card into play. Now what I'm going to do here, you can absolutely do with your tacky glue or dotty tape runner. But what we essentially are also then going to do afterwards with gilding wax, you do want to make sure that you've not got any kind of excess bits of adhesive popping out. So that will make sense once I actually start getting creative, and you'll be like, right, okay, now I see what you mean, Craig. And then what we're going to do is the black card, I'm going to go in with the buckles. I'm going to go in with this tiny little rectangle one, or elongated one. That's going to be kind of, you know, that little lock-in for your belt when it comes to the belts and the buckles. So we're going to use that one, and we're going to cut that. Let's tape that down. I'm then going to take, in actual fact, I don't need that just yet. What I need when it comes to the double-sided is the key and then the lock. So I'm going to then just tape that one down here. We need to then do that a few times. I have already got a lot of them cut, but we'll do a couple just to show you. And what I'm going to do, Ben, is we've got a little bit of detail here. I'm going to add my metal shim only because 300 GSM cardstock cuts like a breeze, but you've got your non-stick backing, and then in the middle there you've got a layer of sticky adhesive, strong adhesive. So just to ensure that we get the perfect cut through all those layers, metal, frosted, magnetic top plate. What I would say, give it a shot without the magnetic shim. There's a good chance that it will cut, but you'll really just need to pop all the little bits out. Once those have cut, we've essentially then got ourselves stickers, because they're going to be sticky on the back. Yeah. So what I'll do, Ben, is I'll do this another couple of times, and then we can then move on to assembling the card. So let's pop them out. And here. Yep. So we're just going to repeat that step. Okay. And then we'll bring in the ones that I've already done.
Little Bear says, I love my Gemini Junior, just right for me. Yeah, chat to us about your favourite machines as well tonight. We are asking about birds. I know there's some pictures coming, which we'll have a look at in just a bit. Karen, I know exactly what you're getting at here. I will post, I found it the other day actually. Ben, what is the name of that bird on that die or stamp you said on the air when you and Craig were on together some time ago? It wasn't a die or a stamp, it was a hunky-dory collection, and I know exactly what you're referring to, and I will not be repeating it because it made us both laugh very childishly. However, I do know where that clip is, and if you remind me later on one of my socials, I will repost it for you. I think Craig can remember that moment as well.
I can as well. The guys across at Hunky Dory were in stitches.
They certainly
when
were.
I sent that clip to Anne-Marie. She was sharing it with the guys.
Oh, Karen, you're trying to get me in trouble, you. Oh, dear. I'll stick it up later on. Hello, Panda Crafts. You've just joined us as well. And hi to Sarah and also Elizabeth. Maldonado is with us too. Loads of people tuning in tonight. Keep the chat coming, as I say, whether it be bird-related chat or any questions that you've got, or as I say, chat to us about your favourite machines as well. It seems like a few of you are chatting about that tonight. One person's going to win themselves a Bird of Love creator card die set at the end of the show, which is just over an hour away. As much as this has been a long day today, it's flown over, isn't it?
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because it seems like a long day today.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I think, gosh, we've only got just over an hour to go, and that's the day over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bizarre one when the day's been like that. Good day, busy day with that launch earlier on.
Absolutely. And all the top secret stuff we were doing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Which you'll find out. Oh, yes. Which you'll find out more about sooner rather than later, I would suggest.
I would have said so.
Yeah.
Won't be that long. Won't be that long. Right, I've taken another bit of black card and cut that to 5 by 2.5 inches. And then I'm going in with my random stickers that I have created.
Yeah.
And a bit like Stampin' Ben, I'm just going to make sure that I go off the page.
Yeah.
And we can then also, don't waste bits. So
you're just being totally random with where you're sticking these now,
totally
right?
random.
Okay.
Yep, completely and utterly random, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to then, let's go in with another key here. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to create and form our own our own emboss background. So it's as if we have used an embossing folder, but we've not. We've just used our die cuts, and we're going to see how that looks. So I'm just going to trim that excess.
Dies of this size lend themselves to that technique really well, because I've seen you do this before with other collections too. It's a nice way to create unique backing papers, isn't it?
It is, because no two will ever be the same.
No.
No matter how much you try to position all these bits in the same place, it ain't going to happen.
No.
And I am just about happy with that. Let's just take the end of a key there, and then I'm just going to pop that into here. So once we've got that back end, at the moment a little bit harder to see, but you've got what gives you that emboss look, as if we've ran it through an embossing folder. And I'm going to go around with my scissors and just chop all that excess off. So it's going to be nice and flush at the end. If we take that off, and then we're going to go in with our Gilding wax now. I'll just make sure that's all nicely pressed down. We're just going to then tidy that up. And now we're going to go in. I'm going to use the Empire Gold for this. Just dip that in, and then start to go over. So start off light, and then go over the top. And then what that will then start to do is that starts to then pick up
magic
all of the die cut detail. Start light, and you can always add, but with your Gilding wax, if you add too much, you can't take it off. So we're going to go in, and this is a good thing to do on furniture as well, Ben. If you give it a coat in with, a Mod Podge or something along that line, then of course that's what your Pebble Gilding wax was for originally, for upcycling and home decor. So we're going to go in, and this now it looks as though we've ran this cardstock through an embossing folder, and then we've come along and then just added the wax over the top. I have to say, this has turned out so much more nicer than I thought it was going to.
Very effective.
Because I've got layers all prepped, ready to assemble, but I haven't got a panel like this pre-done. So it looks so smart. And then there we go.
Wowee, that's brilliant.
How smart is that? So remember, that was 5 by 2.5. So what we're going to do now is, let's just wipe that off my finger. Let's go in now with some blue cardstock. Can't remember where. I think this was from the Cosmic Collection.
Okay.
From the Cosmic Collection. So it's just got a bit of wax on my finger there. I'm going to then take the straps, and only because I've got a lot of wax everywhere, Ben, I'm going to bring in the one that I've already cut.
Yes.
So wafer thin die. You guys know by now the combination for the wafer thin dies. So I've got the straps, and then what I'm also then going to do, originally, if I take the actual buckle for the watch, I was going to cut it into gold mirror card, and then I thought what we can do is let's just do it in black card, and let's take our gold pen.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to go in with the gold pen, and then we're going to colour our cardstock instead. So we can then go around. So that's given us that metallic look. Work our way round. Make sure we get to the edges. Work it, follow through, let that set just for a moment or two. So we've then got our gold buckle. I'm not going to lift it just yet. And then let's bring our layers in. White cardstock, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Matte and layer that onto another piece of the blue from the 12 by 12 Cosmic Collection. That can then go into here. And then I grabbed a little bit of pattern paper from our My Special Paper Pad 2 collection. So that can go into there. Now that strip was also 5 by 2.5, and the reason being is so that and our waxed background is then going to meet in the middle. So if I bring that into here, leaving a matten layer, we're going to then bring our emboss layer, and then we're going to add that to the bottom.
Nice.
Like that. But then I want to break up that central part. So I'm going to come along here now with our belt.
Just quick, I know you just whilst you're crafting, Sarah was just saying, maybe I missed it, but what is the sticky backing that you were using, Craig?
It's our double-sided adhesive sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our double-sided adhesive sheets. And then that's what I've used for that backing. So I'm just going to then snip that down a little bit. Now, I've not done a sentiment for this, Ben. You can, if you want to. But let's add our tape in with the buckle here. And then join that up into the middle. And then you can put the little locking bit for the belt. And then a good starter for you guys at home to then just finish decorating it till you want.
Brilliant stuff. Pat's is saying, love the gilding wax over the black paper. Really popped, didn't it? And that idea of using those dies to create your own like embossed background as well, I think is absolutely brilliant. And once again, one of those things, if you haven't tried it before, absolutely worth doing. Sarah's saying that is a great embossing technique, and I love the gilding wax finish. As always, feel free to try it out, and if you do, make sure you tag us in all your creations over on the relevant socials. If you've just joined us, welcome to the show. It is just gone 6 o'clock here in the UK. Where are you? 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, midday Central. Good afternoon, Good morning, good evening. Thanks for joining us. This is Crafters TV. We are halfway through launch party for a Tuesday, looking at some of the most popular collections from the last couple of weeks. We've touched on the buttons and buckles in that last hour. Also, we've touched on Sheena's amazing Lino effect stamps as well. This hour, going to be looking at more, including the Thanksgiving collection, which I know a lot of you bought yesterday. So we're going to be having another look at that very shortly. Just for those that have joined today as well, do make sure you check out the website which has a glow up. We've got up to 30% off selected paper pads. There's a code doing the rounds, which you'll see over on the socials, and you can use that to get 30% off selected paper pads, and lots there as well. Plenty of sales on the website. The other thing to mention too, during this show, in fact in the next 50 minutes or so, we will be picking a winner. Somebody is going to win themselves this amazing Create a Card die. It is the Lovebirds. It is all in the fact of today is National Pet Bird Day. So we've been asking for your birdie stories. Been asking for your birdie pictures, of which I believe we have a few, which we'll look at in this hour. So any stories about birds that you've had or have, we would love to hear from you, and just generally join in the chat. If you've never chatted before, never said hello before, do it tonight, and your little hello might be the comment which leads you to winning that die worth £25 at the end of the show. As I say, launch party, so here to inspire you. Craig is with us. So what you got planned on this hour? We're going to do Thanksgiving in a second, aren't we?
We are indeed, yes. So when we go back to bed, we'll give myself a little minute just to clean up from the gilding wax. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the Thanksgiving collection. We're going to get a little creative. We're going to start to then layer up. We're going to bring in a stencil from a past collection, and we're going to use one of my favourite dies from that set, and that is kind of like that maple leaf that gives you the give thanks within the middle. That's what we're going to use in a minute.
Excellent. Keep the comments coming. As I say, and any questions you've got for Craig, fire them in. Maybe you've bought some of these launches and you want some inspiration, or you've got a question about them, ask, or indeed you're thinking of buying, again, ask those questions. Now, the Thanksgiving collection we launched yesterday, the showstopper is brilliant. So if you go for the showstopper, everything I'm about to show you here, you will get an extra 6x6, an extra pack of your linen, and an extra 12x12. So essentially you get 2 lots of all of the consumables in here, and you pay $20 instead of £35 or $47. So it's a great way to go in the showstopper, because you know, more often than not, you always want more of the consumables, don't you? The paper pads. So this is the way to be able to do it. It's a lovely set because you've got the beautiful Harvest Time plaid. I know this has been super popular as an individual paper pad. All of those fantastic plaid designs, all of those fantastic sort of rich, deep oranges and greens in here for your harvest makes, for your autumnal makes, and even some of these as well that will cross over into Christmas time too. But you're getting some really lovely designs there. 36 double-sided sheets within that first pad, and as I say, if you go for the showstopper, you're going to get that twice over. Also within the set, we're going to give you your Thankful and Blessed linen cardstock. So once again, you'll see that all the colours in here, kind of all the colours that you'd expect to see over the next few weeks and months when you head out and about, and you see the sort of colours of nature change, and you see those leaves falling off the trees, all of these beautiful different shades of browns and the yellows and the greens in there. You've got 4 sheets of each of those within that set, 24 sheets in total, 6 different colours. So that's included. And again, if you go for the showstopper, you'll get that twice over. And then you also get, which is absolutely beautiful, the little 24 sheet Thanksgiving paper pad in 6x6. So once again, this features more plaids, but then you've got some really, really gorgeous designs as well that you can cut into if you want. You know, use some of your nesting dies with, or if you just want those as beautiful papers for the inside of a project, then absolutely you can do that. Of course, once again, these are uncoated, so feel free to stamp onto these, stencil onto these. It's nice that you've got a mixture of beautiful autumnal kind of designs, but then also more of these gorgeous plaids as well. So plenty to be choosing from and looking at as far as the pads are concerned. And remember, if you go for the showstopper, that is twice over for an extra 20, or instead of 35 or 47. And then you get all of the hardware in here. I'll save my favourite till last. You know what it is. You get your Thankful first of all, so a really handy die in there. Thankful for you and thankful for everything that you do as far as the stamps are concerned. Then you've got your Grateful and Blessed. Really love this again because you can multi-cut this, build this up into wreaths, build this up into kind of elements as embellishments on a project, and then you've got all of your Thanksgiving vegetables in there as well, pumpkins and squashes. You've got your acorns in there too, and again another Grateful and Blessed stamp. This is gorgeous, that beautiful leaf die. Love the sentiment that comes in that one as well, so give thanks. And you've also got your Happy Thanksgiving stamp there too. And last, certainly by no means least, my favourite in this set, because it's quite a serious, not serious is it, but you know what I mean, it's quite a serious set. You wouldn't expect all of a sudden just to be greeted by this fella here, who is included, the Thanksgiving turkey. And what is so nice about that is that you've got all of the detail in here of the turkey that you can build up for yourself. So, I mean, even these little, what are the things on the side of his face called? These things. Those things.
Oh, the gobble gobbles.
Yeah, the gobbledy-gobbleders. Everything in there. Was I right on the showstopper? I'm just hearing chatting in my ear. You get... Oh, my bad then. So you get... Right, so if you go for the showstopper, you get... Let's have a look at the picture so we can see. The showstopper... Right, is everything there. So basically, you're getting an extra 6x6 pad, aren't you? Right. That reads really weird on the notes, doesn't it? So if you go for the normal collection, you would only get the dies and one 6x6. If you go for the showstopper, you get two 6x6s and then the 12x12 and then the linen. Right, so apologies, that doesn't read like how it should on the notes. That's totally confused me. Yeah, so that's everything you get within the showstopper. If you just go for the collection on its own, it's all of the dies and the 6x6. Now you can see where the value is. Glad we explained that. Everyone's going for the showstopper, which is marvellous. So now you all understand. Few quick comments. Judith says, I still have my original Gemini and the receipt is dated November 2016. I'm still using the original purple base plate and frosted shim, but I've had a couple of top cutting plates and other shims as well. There you go. Just goes to show how long these can be used for. And Trish Lestelle says, I was outside in my backyard last week and a hummingbird whizzed by my head and scared me half to death. I've been in my home for 8 years and this was the first time to see a hummingbird here. And I bet after that, you don't want to see another one, do you, Trish? Keep those stories coming through. And as I say, someone is going to win that bird die by the end of the show. But let's get into it. I've really enjoyed this show because we've done some stamping. We've had that brilliant new Sheena collection. You know, we've just turned from the buttons and buckles before the hour as well. And now we're going into that point of the year, which I think a lot of people are looking forward to. My favourite point of the year, Thanksgiving, autumn and fall. And you're a big fan of autumn and fall as well, aren't you?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely love it. I love the feel, I love the colours, I love, like, for instance, tonight I'm going to go home, get in my comfies, make something to eat, put the kettle on, put the candles on from Yankee Candle, and then just chill and watch the TV because it's been a busy, busy day. So yeah, I love that autumn feel. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to use that Give Thanks die that you were showing there, Ben, a moment ago, because it's absolutely my favourite. Now, within this one here, you can go back to yesterday's show with myself and Becky where we made this one here. So you'll be able to go back and watch that. So you'll also see that we started to make this box, but then you can start to do your fussy cutting when it comes to the paper pads. You've got the dies. I'm going to go over that technique that I went over yesterday with the embossed detail. If you're like me sometimes and you just can't be bothered to run the little die through with the embossing mat, you can just bring in your ball tool. That one we made yesterday as well.
The turkey's the best, isn't he?
It really is good.
Thank you, Judith, by the way. Those little dangly bits are called the wattles.
The waffles?
Wattles. Wattles.
Oh, wattles.
Yeah.
What, Jeeves?
Wattles.
Yeah. Wattles.
Love that card. Beautiful.
We made that as well yesterday. Another couple when it comes to the easel. So it's a great set. I think what I love as well about this, Ben, is it's like the Three Bears. It's not too big. It's not too small.
Just right.
It's just right when it comes to the components. And certainly here in the UK, will you probably be using Happy Thanksgiving? Not unless you're actually from America, but all the other dies in that, I'll be using them. Will I use the stamp? Probably not, because I don't make Thanksgiving cards for friends and family, but the pumpkins and when it comes to the papers and all of the different components that you get, absolutely, we're going to be using. So let's dive in here and let's take a piece of white cardstock. And then I'm going to go in with that die. Now, I'm only going to use that outer die, Ben,
Yeah.
because we're going to use this as a stencil.
Ah, there we go.
So let's die cut that. So I'm going to run that through. Now, that is a simple shape die. So therefore, I don't need my magnetic shim. We're going to run that one through. Now, what I've done is I've gone in with the olives and leaves stencil from the Mediterranean Dreams collection. So we've gone in with that one. You can use any stencil that you've got that's giving you that little bit of texture. So I'm going to keep this because we are going to use that shortly, but at the moment, this is what I'm wanting. So I've got my die cut, and let's go in with another piece of white cardstock. And then I'm just going to get that as close to the middle as possible. You could, if you want to make it easier for yourself, Ben, cut your card to the exact same size as what your base is going to be, and then it just means that you can then line it up pretty much spot on. I'm going to roughly gauge it because I never thought on to do that ahead of time. And I'm going to go in just with that stencil tape. You can use our low-tack tape. You guys know when it comes to stencils, if I'm not using the repositionable spray for glitter, then I'm just using the stencil tape. So we've now got that stenciled. You could use your magnetic stamping platform if you want. But we're going to go in with the pigment, and we're going to go in with the Friar Brown. And I'm going to use the finger dauber, and what we're going to do is we're just going to then tap in pounds with the Friar Brown through that piece of cardstock, and then we're just going to work our way around. I want to try and get it smooth.
Yeah.
You can go textured. If you don't get it smooth, don't worry, simply because you're not actually going to see any little bits that you've missed or where it's not quite smooth, because the eye is going to be taken away from the stencil design.
Okay.
Plus, we are still going to die cut the Give Thanks sentiment die, and then that will also layer over the top. So going in with the Friar Brown, the pigment, because we're also going to do a little bit of heat embossing, and then we're just going to then pounce through here. So let's work that one in. I'm just going to then just slide that ever so slightly back, and then work, making sure we've got a really, really nice coverage. Now, before we remove that, Ben, we're going to go in with our stencil, and I'm just going to sit that straight over the top, and then I'm going to go in with Seal Brown.
Yeah.
So if I go in with the Seal Brown, and I'm doing exactly the same, I'm holding my stencil down, and then I'm going in with my finger dauber, but now with that darker brown, which is the Seal Brown. And all that I'm doing visually, I'm just making sure that I also get in with that maple leaf design. I don't actually know if it is a maple leaf, but it looks like
I think it is.
to me.
I would have said it was a maple leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Any leaf experts, let us know if we're wrong.
let us know. Let us know indeed. But working that through, so what that will do is we will then transfer that stencil design from our ink, but because we've kept our mask in place, that means that it's only going to stay within that masked outline. So if I lift that up and then move that out the way and that out the way. So if I peel that off, lift that up,
Very good.
how cool and
Very
smart
good.
is that? Really smart. So you're seeing that olive, what was it? The olive and leaf design coming through. Now I can either let that kind of set itself or heat set it, but I want a little bit of, not kind of shimmer, but that little bit of glisten just popping through. So let me take a piece of cardstock just so that I can sprinkle this one on. And it's just a clear embossing powder, so you'll still see the design underneath. Tap all that off. It will go cloudy to start with, but we're then to cut that back in. If I bring in my heat tool, now you really will see the embossing melt with the brown. So what I'll do, Ben, is I'll start at the top here
Yeah.
and work my way down, and you'll start to see it change. So if I go direct to the top, and then you'll start to see it melt. And once it starts, there you go.
Here we go.
You're then letting that melt, and then as it melts, you're moving your heat gun. Don't waft it,
No.
because you could have a tendency of blowing off any of the powder. So what you want to do is just keep it set, and as it melts, you're going to go along and move it like so till it's fully melted, till you get to the end. And then once you're at the end there, what you're then going to have
Look at that.
is that nice shimmer. Now, if I take your mind back, Ben, to our launch earlier on, see how that gives you that textured look?
Oh, yes.
Whereas when we done the triple embossing, it was completely smooth. So if I go in, look at that. So it's smart, it still gives you that textured look,
But more
because
like
it's one layer.
leafy.
But if you do a triple, like we done earlier on,
Yeah.
that gives you a completely smooth layer. So that's the difference between one layer and a triple emboss layer. So let's move these out the way, and then what I'm going to do, Ben, white card, I know I've got that outline, but I'll just cut the whole lot from scratch again. I'm going to cut this craft card, white card, do it twice and do a drop shadow.
Just whilst we're watching Craig, there's loads of comments flying through. Rosalind says, I would love to have an aqua green MIDI. Well, we'll ask. Yeah, aqua green. Have we done that? Because I know we've done like limited edition, mainly juniors, haven't we?
I'm wondering, so Hobby Maker in the UK had a limited edition mojito. So it's
mojito.
like a mint colour. So maybe that's what you're thinking. That was commissioned by Hobby Maker themselves. So we won't have it.
Here we go. Stephen, I got my MIDI. I got the Hobby Maker nice light green colour one.
Yep.
So there you go.
I got one as well.
Love the Thanksgiving collection, says Crystal. I ordered yesterday, says Stephanie. And Jessica Stricker says, we have backyard birds, talking about birds. Crows, robins, a huge owl, a hawk, a cardinal family, hummingbirds, blue jay, and black-capped chickadees. These on a regular basis. The groundhog is back now, and the skunk is gone. And the deer are back. Sounds like you've got like a full-on wildlife park there,
doesn't
Jessica,
it?
in your backyard.
It's like David Attenborough or something should be there.
Yeah. Here we are in the garden of Jessica Stricker with the skunks and groundhogs. Crafty Stacey Lou, I need a recording of this, please. She says, I once won a radio competition at Christmas with my turkey impression. She says, I won a hamper but donated it to the local hospice so they could have dinner together. Well, that's lovely. That is lovely. That's so kind. Please send an impression of you doing a turkey impression. We would love to hear that. Sarah says, this is a beautiful collection. It's simple, but so many elements to make gorgeous projects. And Jean F says, Ben and Craig, hello from San Diego.
Hello.
I love this showstopper, and it looks like fall is coming weather-wise. Well, do you know what, Jean F? It's funny you say that. We thought fall was on the way here, but it's like unseasonably warm now, isn't it?
It's been like a summer's day today.
It must have been 21, 22 degrees out there earlier. The sun was shining. It's like, hang on a minute. This is what we were supposed to be doing 6 weeks ago.
Exactly, I know. It's like, where's the autumn weather? Where's the crispy, orangey, dark leaves on the ground?
We've got this for another rest of the week, they reckon.
Have
the warm
we?
weather, yeah.
Well, I'm obviously I have no shows at the weekend. I'm not at Hobby Maker this weekend, so hopefully, maybe then, I'll get a nice autumnal weekend.
I think it's cooling down for the weekend, yes.
Is it?
Yeah, so you'll be able to... do you sit out and sort of use your garden when it's sort of... Do you know what I mean? When it's a bit cooler, do you wrap up warm and get your fire going and that?
Not yet, just because it's been crazy busy the last few weeks. But yeah, my intentions are, whether it's in the morning just before I come to work or at night time, just go home, get the kettle on, get in my comfies, blanket round me, and maybe go on with the fire pit. And although I don't know why, but something like putting the fire pit on at night time in an autumn night, I always think of that as like a Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know why. I wouldn't necessarily think to put the fire pit on a weeknight. Don't know why I think that. Strange, I know. But
It feels like a bit of a Friday night treat, though, doesn't it? Like having a nice fire pit on, getting all cosy.
Yeah.
Is your garden all lit as well? You've got loads of beautiful lights around your garden, haven't you?
Oh, it's like Blackpool Illuminations. I just bought more from QVC last week. I've got another 3 orders from QVC arriving. Actually, they've arrived.
What do you get?
So I got another set of lock and lock containers.
Lock and lock?
As if I need more lock and lock containers.
Right.
I got a Ninja kettle.
A Ninja kettle?
That stays at a certain temperature.
Wow.
Saves me constantly boiling it. But see, and I did put it on my Crafter's Companion Instagram the other day because they did have 5 Easy Pay Day on Sunday. So I know many of you stocked up on your Crafter's Companion goodies.
What you're saying, the Ninja kettle's quite expensive?
Yeah, well, yeah. It'd be around about the 65-ish.
Oh, okay.
But then I did get 5 Easy Pays, so...
Oh, that's easy then, isn't it?
And then, I can't remember what the third thing was.
Kettle?
Yes, lights, that's what it was,
lights,
Johnny.
Yes.
Lights. That was what it was.
Yes, a Ninja kettle. A few people going, a Ninja kettle? Yes, Ninja kettle.
Yeah, I do love the Ninja equipment.
Love the maple leaf, says Trish. Definitely a maple leaf. I had to order the collection yesterday, got the showstopper. It is a maple leaf, says Zoe and Sarah. And Zoe says, I was thinking of making some leaves and craft card and the faux chamois technique. Oh, that's what Sheena did, wasn't it? The faux leather technique.
Yeah, well, you know, even going in just with that outside die, Ben, and you can see by using the outside die and then just putting your own score lines in with the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And then you can start to do your home decor.
That's really pretty.
So there's just loads of ways, but yeah, going in with faux leather effects would be fab. Right, let's start to then build this one up together. So I've gone in with a bright yellow because it works well with the tartan plaid paper.
Yeah.
And this is actually from our Halloween Fright Night linen card.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a little matting layer. And because we've got the white there, I've given myself a little white matting layer as well. And then because we've gone in with the brown tones, and depending which way you look at this, you can see elements of brown. I've taken one of our 6x6 craft cards.
Yep.
And that can then get layered onto here. And by adding that white, it just elevates it that little bit more. And then I'm going to layer this. And then what I'm also going to do, Ben, is if I can find it. What did I do with my die cut? Is it underneath? Oh, there it is. What I'm going to do, Ben, just for a moment or two, I'm just going to take some foam pads, just chop them up small. I'm not going to do loads because we don't have time, but I want to elevate that also, so I'll just do that.
Hi to Stephanie, who says, I've sent a picture of a baby flamingo that I just saw on Facebook for your viewing pleasure. I believe from all of the tapping that I can hear going on in my ear in the gallery, a lot of pictures of birds, which we'll have a look at before we have a break very shortly. Oh, and some crazy craft rooms as well from earlier. We were talking about, it's National Cleaner Day today. So earlier on, we were asking to see your craft rooms, whether they were clean or not. Everyone was being a bit coy earlier on, not wanting to send in pictures, but Christine, thank you, you did. Judith says, we occasionally get a sparrowhawk in our garden. It's beautiful, but unfortunately kills the little songbirds. That is a shame. And lots of people talking about lock and lock containers. They're basically, they're like next level Tupperware, aren't they?
They are
proper
containers, Ben.
There you go.
There's no leaking. There's no.
We're not on
nothing
QVC now,
whatsoever.
pal.
There you are. There you go. Always got that. I've got that many.
Yeah.
That I don't know. It was my frosted shreddies that was in that one, Ben.
Shreddies in that one.
Johnny, this morning.
Yeah. I have so much lock and lock. It has its own cabinet in the kitchen, says Anne.
Same. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I posted a picture on my. Was it? Oh no, it was my work Instagram, wasn't it? So yeah, if you didn't see that at the weekend.
Yeah.
Then yeah, just loads.
And on the subject of the weather here in England, yes, Hilary, she says, I bought a fleece throw yesterday, that it's been boiling today. Same again for the rest of the week, Hilary. Zoe says, I was just thinking it was time to grow my winter woolies and then the sun came out. So I got my legs out again today.
Yes.
And Pat says, I have a lot of lock and lock containers myself. They're all over my house, including my craft room now, and some are just sitting in a box in my back porch. I suppose it's one of those things again, isn't it? That it's better to, if they're on a deal and you know you love them, you're always going to use them eventually, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know about that. I've still got loads from my last set that I bought. But yeah, when they're, it's one of those things, when you see them in this high street store bin and the price of them,
that's what I mean.
It's crazy. And then you see the price on something like QVC. But ironically, I don't actually use them for storing any of my craft stuff in. I really should. I just use them for in the kitchen. But I really should start to use them more around my craft room.
Yeah.
So really will be a benefit to doing that. Right, press that in.
That is
so
brilliant.
you start to get that glisten popping through from that backdrop. But what I've got is I've got one cut here. And I was saying this yesterday with Becky. What I love is I love that we give you both of them, Ben. We give you the left and the right. So you can then have that perfect cut in each direction.
Are you using your MIDI here?
I am indeed.
Did you know it's back in stock?
Is it?
Yes. You can grab it today. Maybe we'll get the details at the bottom of the screen.
Why not store your folders in your lock and lock?
Yeah. Or all of your die-cut elements. Details will come up for you. Rosalind says, Ben, once you start buying them, you're hooked.
You're what?
You're hooked.
Oh, hooked.
Yeah.
That's it. You really, really are.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'm like you guys at home. I get wrapped up in watching the presentation. I'm like, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I like that. I don't have any hair bobbles, but I might do in the future. That would be a good idea.
You might need it the way you're going.
But that's true.
Yeah.
That's
both
very
on top
true.
and under the chin.
Yeah, I might have a little ponytail just in my beard.
Are you growing your hair? Is your hair going to grow long as well, then, is it?
Well, I'm now at that point that it gets to a point where it gets too long and it frustrates me and I can't do anything with it, so I cut it. But I'm now way past that point that I actually am liking the length of it.
Yeah.
So I might just keep it going. I will obviously have to kind of get it styled in some way. But
I can imagine you with a bit of a top knot.
a top knot.
Yeah.
Can you? Like an old David Beckham or something?
Yeah, and like a slightly longer beard, but like you say, with like, because they do like beard decorations, don't they, and stuff?
Oh,
like
yeah,
for
the little
Christmas.
Oh, well, I can take the little bells from the Jingle All the Way collection.
Yeah. Even the big bells, if your beard grows long enough. Have like loads of little bells and then one big bell on the bottom that you can just like shake around at the bottom of your beard.
Has anyone seen? I can hear Craig come in. His bell's ringing.
Yeah. Here he is. Dong. Dong.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, you could do it. Like, what can we stick in Craig's beard today?
Yes, keep growing it, right? And then it could be a new game for Friday Night Live. You know, like Buckaroo, when you used to like load up the donkey, we could like load up Craig's beard and see how much stuff we can get in there before stuff starts falling out. Beardaroo, we'll call it.
Your beardaroo. Start digging in the beard.
Yeah.
See what we can find.
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as you've gone big on the beard, as soon as, towards the end of October, I'm going to start on my moustache again, and I'm going to grow it for November, as you always do, and I think I'm going to then keep mine at least till the end of the year. And
Yeah, do that.
We'll be the beardy moustache twins.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Yeah.
The plaid pad beard.
Beard lads.
Lads.
The plaid pad beard lads.
Yeah,
I like it.
like it.
I've sent in 2 pictures of my messy craft room. Now I need to tidy up, says Trista Stell. Crafty Stacey Lou, I've sent in 3 pics of my craft room. I'm proud of my creative mess. And Chica says, last year I woke up with a I don't know why this made me laugh. Last year I woke up with a chicken in the garden. No idea that she came from. Named her Bruce. Took a week to catch her, and now she lives at a local stately home. Aww.
Oh. I like hearing these stories.
Yeah.
Right, just popping these into place with a foam pad.
And just says, no man bun, please, Craig.
No man bun.
No. I feel like, have man buns like been and gone? As far as the fashion, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's so like
About 10 years ago,
10 years ago, yeah.
What are you thinking? A lot longer than that ago? Oh, 5 year. 5 year ago.
We'll just let it grow and see how it looks.
Yeah. Johnny says you should get a haircut like his.
To get it all off.
Yeah.
It's the
Watership
grays.
down look, as I call it. The 2 hairs over a wide open space.
It's the greys in the beard that I need to watch for. They're starting to come
The
through.
greys in the beard.
The greys
You
in the
did a
beard.
thing on Insta recently, didn't you, where you'd done a video and then you'd noticed like one
in
grey.
our green room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done an Insta story just going on about a show we had coming up that day, and I rewatched it, and there's this great big grey hair.
Yeah.
So I took a
Great.
picture after having plucked it. Yeah.
Hello.
Make sure you follow all of our socials, because it's not just crafting
No,
that
it
we post
isn't.
on there. Put our full name and CC at
Yeah.
the end. But there we go. We've gone in with the Give Thanks collection there. We've done a little bit of inking way back into the backdrop with the stencil there, but then just started to tie it all together.
The shadowing making the 3D effect stand out, says Jeffrey. Absolutely. It's a brilliant project, isn't it, from a great collection. And Pat says, the hairy haughty scotty. He is, isn't he? Very hirsute. It's a
Well,
good
we
word,
could be
that.
the hairy crafters.
The hairy crafters.
We had the hairy bikers.
Yeah. All right. All right. I like that. Let's work on it. I'll start growing and you keep growing. We'll have a short break in a second, but before that, we promised that we'd show your pictures. So two lots of things you're going to see here. Earlier on, we were chatting about National Cleaner Day, so we asked for your clean or not so clean craft rooms, and obviously we've been chatting about birds in this show. So Lisa Parker said, I'm coming to the screen now, I've got to get in close. Lisa, this is your crafty corner. Well, that looks very organised. Look at all the cards. I think there's quite a few Halloween-y type cards there, aren't there, I
can
think?
see that as well. I love our, what's it, emoji mug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the emoji mug.
Yeah.
With lots of tools in there. I can see some crafter's scissors.
But look at all their storage boxes,
No.
all sorted, all organised as well.
Very
Love
good, that. Very good, Lisa.
Yeah, really nice.
Trish Lestelle. Hey, there you go. They got the Ben bag.
Look, the Ben bag, the Sarah,
Sarah book.
book.
Look at all the craft clubs neatly lined up.
Oh, loving the binders. Even I've not got that many binders of the craft.
Look at all the craft kits as well.
Yeah. Look
You
at
can see a
them all.
junior up there.
Just to say collection,
Yeah.
template libraries.
That's nicely organised again, I would say there. Oh, and here's the other side of the room
Wow.
with
Nice, sorted, organised.
Are those the storage for the ink pads? Is that the Tiffany
I
storage?
don't think so,
Is it
no.
not?
But whatever
Like the
it is,
look
I
of
would
it.
like them.
It looks nice, isn't it? Smart.
I'm trying to work out maybe like, you know, the strong cardboard flat pack ones that you get. I'm not sure.
Can I also just appreciate Trisha has also put eyes on the G2 and on her Mini.
Oh, so she has.
Googly eyes.
So she has. Look, guillotine, V-blade trimmer.
Oh, yes. That's
what a nice space.
nice, tidy space. Well done, everybody. Well done, Trisha. Thank you for sending that in. And Ruth's craft room. I like this. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I mean, bed, bathroom, and on the bed.
Wow.
That is a lot of stuff, Ruth.
That is epic.
Wowee. So much stuff.
Love it.
Ruth, that could be the winning one there. Let's put some brilliant craft rooms. Thank you, everyone. Now, on to the birds. Shaz Earl has got a load of birds, I'm just being
Look
told.
at the one on the right. It's like, oh no.
Oh, Shaz, you sent in a message earlier on, didn't you? With all of the different birds that you had. Let me see if I can find it, because it might help me identify. There's two, hang on.
There's 4 in there. One away at the back on the right-hand corner, and then like the
Is
greeny
it?
yellow
Ah.
head at the left.
Shaz Earl, hang on, I just saw it. It's just Shaz Earl, she's got 9 canaries, 8 budgies, 3 diamond doves, and 10 finches. Look at these two. I mean,
Oh, look at that aviary.
that is
That
amazing.
reminds me of my granddad when he used to have one.
Do you know what? Isn't that lovely as well? They've got so much room to kind of like move around and
They
fly
do,
around in
yeah.
there. It's so nice. They've got
It
all that
also
space.
reminds me of like a wine vine as well, that last
Look
one.
at all the birds there.
Look at the colours.
They're amazing. Absolutely
Wow.
amazing.
Is that a little bit like a artwork in the background on the wall as well? Like a floral artwork? Painting or something? It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Shaz, thank you for sending that in.
Yeah.
And I think, Kirsty, is this Duke? Duke, named after her granddad's budgie.
Oh.
Named after John Wayne, of course,
Okay.
who was the Duke. Does Duke ring the bell when he wants some more bird food, then? Is that what the bell's there for, I wonder?
Love seeing all these pictures of the birds.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. That was fun. And that, again, is why you guys love it here. All about the interactivity, all about the chit-chat. A few more quick comments and we'll go to a break. I've never had a pet bird, although my children had a parakeet, says Robin. And Stephanie says, I would be too embarrassed to send in a picture. My craft room is stuffed. And then I start working on projects and it's a mess. And one final word for Lock and Lock. He's on commission. Stephanie said, I had so much Lock and Lock, I had to give away. There's no room in the house. We moved to all the cabinets deep enough to keep. Hated to see them go, but they're in the garage with baking supplies, decorations, and cookie cutters. Laurie Rose also saying that my craft room would be too scary. Thank you for the pictures, everybody. Listen, we're going to take a short break. Going to give you opportunity to get all your carts and your baskets checked out. Get them checked out. Very busy for the Thanksgiving. The buttons and buckles very busy. All of it busy. We're going to come back for the final sort of 20 minutes or so, and we'll look one final time at the buttons and buckles and keep commenting. Someone's going to win this amazing creator card die worth £25 in the next 20 minutes. It could be you. Send us a message and we'll be back in about 4 minutes' time.
My day-to-day life is pretty busy in work. Literally, I get in the door, I check my polls, I then check what I've got to demo, I then get everything ready, and it's just busy, busy, busy from there. I have a meeting with the producer, the director, we get then sorted for the shows, talk to the presenter, and it depends what side I'm on. I mean, sometimes I'm doing the presenting side, sometimes I'm doing the demonstration side, and I love both. It's actually who I get to work with. That's, yeah, I can't say no more than that other than anybody that works here. We are a big family. We're so super friendly. I love Ben. I love it when we work together. And I don't mean that I don't love anyone else. It's the fact that Ben is the presenter and then I'm demonstrating and we just have this great rapport. Same with Craig, same with Deb, same with the whole team. So yeah, the best part of the day is just getting to work with the best people in the industry. Oh, a night out. In the morning. Oh, none. I only drink water. Oh, well, I'm cutting out sugar, so it's got to be savoury. Masterclass. Oh, I can't leave the house without my lipstick. Oh, I love a baked potato. I relax, so I literally drive home normally and then I relax.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White, you're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Thank you, everybody, for all of the lovely comments coming through. Loved all the pictures, said Lois. It's lovely, isn't it, to share pictures, whether it be of craft or, in this case, of birds and craft room. We'll do some more tomorrow. We always apologise that if you send in pictures, we can't always guarantee that we're going to show you, because I know a lot of people do. The guys in the gallery, obviously, they're running the show, have a lot to do, so we can't always, it takes time to load them all up. So we see them all, but we can't always show them. But we appreciate you sending them in, and we always try and, show as many as we can. Stephanie says, I love seeing everyone's pictures. And Cheryl says, pictures were amazing. I haven't had a bird in years, but I used to take care of a friend's cockatoo named Casper. Casper the cockatoo. I bet he was a friendly... Was it Casper the friendly ghost?
Yeah.
I bet he was a friendly cockatoo. Right, we've got about 15, 16 minutes to fit in another demo. We're going to do it with the buttons and buckles collection. I'll remind you of everything in the showstopper, but we'll do that at the end so we can make sure we get the most out of the demo. And last chance to comment, because we're going to pick a winner very shortly. Just say hello. If you've never commented before, do it now, and who knows, you could win this £25 dice set. The Birds of Love creator card. We'll be giving it away just before the end of the show. But let's go back to the buttons and buckles showstopper collection. It is £30.38, £37.51. Look, and if you're buying this and you're platinum, the free stuff that you're getting is worth more than what you're buying, which is absolutely incredible. But let's see what we're going to do with Craig. Are we going to look at buttons or buckles or both?
We're actually going to focus on some buttons here and do some little strips that we've got when it comes to making a card. But just show you some finished samples to start with. These are ones that our Nicole had done. So if you do love to layer and do that mixed media sort of feel, you can absolutely do that. With all due respect to Nicole, some ink into the background, and then it's just die cutting, maybe doing some drop shadows and starting to build on top. But then maybe you want to go from that grungy look, maybe you want to go down that steampunk look, maybe you want to go with that light and cute look for your new babies if you want. Maybe you want to come along with your mirror pads, but then you can then start to bring in elements from the mail collection. What about going in, like within the jam jar, making them into shakers, doing that backdrop. There's so many ways in which you can use these ones. I mean, how beautiful is that one?
Yeah.
That one there, Lisa's made that one, doing inks into the backs.
That one before with the trousers, Debbie remade that one and did it with tartan trousers.
Did you?
And said it was a Craig card.
Ah, fab.
Yeah.
That would be right up my street, that's for sure. But then what about going in with Through the Looking Glass, way back, and then starting to use the components, because it works well for Through the Looking Glass. There's another shaker that you've got.
Great.
But then what you've also got, Ben, is you've got a couple of dies that look like this, and they've got like a little score line down the middle, and that's going to be like tabs. So, typical, I've picked one up that doesn't have it. So, maybe like on the edges of memory books where you have the little tabs, then that's what those dies are for. So die cut it, fold it in half, and then tab it onto the side, and then you can just write, certain pages what they are, or just a little finger tab for you to open the pages. So that's what those ones are for. So let's bring in, so like I say, I've got my die set. So let's bring in the buttons. So I've got 2 lots of cardstock. I've got a load of buttons already done, but we'll cut a few of them. Let's go in with the oval. Let's also then let's go in with a few of these ones. Let's also go in with that one as well. And let's just do the 2. It's all black that I've got. So I'm going to run these through. You'll be not surprised to know that I'm going to do a drop shadow. Okay. Because I think it works well with these. But the black is going to be on the back. Now that cardstock, that is from our 24 sheets of 12 by 12, where you get the 12 that's shedless glitter and 12 that's the pearlescent. Well, that one there is that rose gold one that we've got. So that's where that's from. So I'm going to take the black button. So we've got these two here, and then we're going to do the same again. Let's just die cut these, and in actual fact, it's a buckle. I didn't need that, it was more of a button, but I can show you that within this oval one. So I'm going to run that one through, and I've taken a lot of off-cut strips of linen cardstock. You'll see the colours in a moment, and this is where I'm going to kind of weave them through the buttons.
Yeah.
So let's take and move all that away. I've just moved that button, and I need that. So if we pop the little bits out, so let's pop these out here, and then I'm going to go in with my glue. Now, if you're doing a drop shadow and you're going to feed through paper or ribbon or anything like that, you need to make sure, because your drop shadow goes to the side ever so slightly, you don't want to block up the aperture completely, because you still want to be able to feed through the actual card or ribbon.
Yeah.
So moving it ever so slightly, so we've got a little bit of a drop shadow, but I can still feed through any ribbon or paper that we've got. So we've got that one there. So if I bring in these two, and I've got a couple of strips here that I've got, and then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to feed this through, and it's just wide enough to actually fit through the little buttonholes. So there's that one, and then if I take this one, and I'm going to do the same again. And the cardstock, Ben, it's not from one specific collection, it's just a range of different. I think there's a couple from Age of Elegance, I think there's a couple from Honeysuckle, so it's just a range of different cardstock.
And the ribbon that we get in the showstopper, there's widths, well, and buckles big enough that we can obviously thread that through as well.
I don't know, what do we get in the showstopper?
You've got your ribbon from the Vintage Halloween collection. So it's 3/4 of an inch wide down to 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be fine. Yeah, you'll be able to fit them
perfect,
through.
yeah.
Yeah, perfect width with the thinner one.
I said it earlier, and I said it when we launched it, I think it's one of the best put together showstoppers we've ever done in terms of being able to use all of the additional elements with the main collection. It's very well thought through.
It really, really has been such a great showstopper for sure. Being able to tie in all of the elements. Now, when it comes to other showstoppers, it's not as if certain elements, because sometimes certain components within the actual showstopper, Ben, you might not use it with the launch product.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's not, showstoppers aren't always put together so that every item is going to work with the launch. It's just about giving you that versatility. It's about giving you that option.
And value
maybe
for money.
giving you an extra
Yeah.
in with your craft stash. Whereas within this set, as you said, it all works together. You're able to use all of the components together within the full set.
Like you see the ribbon, you used the markers, Debbie was using the glossy highlights. So it all ties in really, really nicely indeed.
All well in together.
Yeah.
Another piece from my special paper box too, that I have cut to 4.5 by 6.5, little black matten layer, little white matten layer, and then another little matten layer from that 12 by 12. So that's going to go into my 5 by 7 card blank here. And then I've gone in with another panel. So the white card is 3.5 by 5.5. I've given myself, I'm not going to stick that down just yet actually. I've given myself a little matten layer. I've gone in with a sentiment stamp from the male collection being top block.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start to just, Ben, have a little bit of a play. I'm just going to then kind of slide them because I'm going to offset them. Now you can have them running parallel if you want, but I'm just going to make sure that I've got a nice few of them going and stopping at different parts. If I come down with this one here, and then I'll go into there.
Okay.
What I could do is bring that up into place here. And then once I'm happy with that, what I can do is I can then commit to the stick, and then we're going to trim off the edges of our card. Now, if I had, let's see if I've got any here. If I had my foam strips, no, I don't. Anyway, I don't know if I would have time to do that. So, what I'm going to do, Ben, is I'm just going to use my tacky glue to then pop them into place, and then we can then trim the excess off down by the side.
Thank you, Ruth. It says, got the ship notice that my buttons and buckles showstopper is coming.
Yes.
Now, just waiting for 3 more packages with the shipped emails. Jennifer Love says, I have the buttons and buckles on order. Can't wait. What pretty cards, says Karen Wells Sorrell. And Karen says, I don't have a craft room, only use of the dining room table, so I do need to watch what I buy, but Crafter's Companion makes that very difficult. That's where things like the storage boxes come into their own, don't they? And then hopefully you can store stuff away. Maybe put it in the garage and then get all the bits and pieces out when you need them. I love the samples, says Pat. I really especially love the photo album books. I feel they're practical and something that more people would keep. Yeah, that's the great thing, isn't it? Because we make sort of cards, but things like those photo albums are real. Well, they're almost like presents as well, aren't they? Keepsakes.
They are, yeah. And what's lovely is we've done masterclasses, tutorials in the past when it comes to memory books. So if you've seen them, you can still obviously go back on our YouTube channel and watch them, and then you can start to use the buckles and button die set when it comes to your own little books that you make. So let's align that up here.
Just to say, stay tuned. I have a winner's name. It's just popped through for me.
You do you?
Who's going to win the creator card die?
You know what would be good with these dies as well? Remember just over a week ago, Ben, when I used the embossing folder with our tin foil, aluminum foil? Then do that. And then the embossing folder, partial embossing folder, the snowflake.
Oh, yes.
And I stuck on a card with double-sided adhesive sheet and then the tin foil.
Yeah.
So do that again, tin foil, double-sided adhesive sheet onto cardstock, and then die cut with the dies. So you're going to have that metallic look die cut buttons or buckles. So certainly lots and lots of different ways. So now that I'm happy with where I've got them, let's trim off the edge.
Yeah.
Work our way from top to bottom. Let's just take these little bits, clean out the way. This top panel I've layered on foam pads. We're then going to layer that back into the centre here, like so. Press it in, and then I'm going to go in with another foam pad on the back with the top block or any sentiment of your choice, and then there we go. Quite a bright and cheery, with a little bit of the darker tones of the buttons, which would be good for a mail card.
Absolutely brilliant. My buttons and buckles is on the way, says Cheryl, with my Sheena showstopper. I mean, that is not an easy sentence to say. 5 minutes before the end of the day. And so much more. Very nifty idea to do with the buckles, says Jeffrey. A1 for Craig. A star for you, mate. And Sandy Borwick says, I cannot wait to get this set. Just before I announce the winner of the die, shall I show you what you're going to get in the showstopper very, very quickly, so we all know what we're going to be getting. All of the buttons and buckles. I believe there are 31 in there. What you're going to be getting: keys and buttons and the buckles and the belts. Love the fact as well that you get your little stopwatch or your pocket watch, as we call it, and even the little pocket to be able to put it in there as well. Plenty, in fact, in there. 33 in total within that set, which is going to come to you like that. Within the showstopper, right, here's the value. You pay for this. You're also going to pay for the vintage Halloween ribbon. So you get the green, that brown and that beautiful blue in 3 colours, 3 sizes of each. The width, as we mentioned a few moments ago, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch width in the 3 colours. So 9 lots of ribbon, if you like. And then you're also going to receive the Modern Man pad. So this you pay for as well. But it's so handy, as we were talking about. brilliantly put together in the fact that all of the aspects of this particular showstopper just work so wonderfully well with each other. This is great because, again, you've got, you know, hundreds of different toppers in here, whether it be for the outside of your projects, whether it be for, you know, sentiments that you're going to use on the inside, whether you're going to use these as tags. It's entirely up to you, but lots of snippability and lots of use for those more masculine cards. That is not to say, though, that you couldn't use this on a card for that lady in your life as well. But, you know, we've hopefully popped in here lots of ideas for those more male skewed cards. And of course, at the front, you've then got all of these elements that simply pop out of the paper that you can pop on to, you know, beautiful scenes like this. So if your partner's into fishing, or that man in your life is into fishing or gardening or barbecuing or golfing or football or soccer, whatever it is, it's all taken care of in that pad. Now, that's where you finish paying, because then for free within the showstopper, and these are dwindling, by the way, you will have to go fairly quickly if you want to grab them. For free, we give you a bottle of our glossy highlights. Again, you're going to use that multiple times over on things like those buttons. Who was it? I think it was Sarah, wasn't it, when she had a go with this, used it to create that beautiful domed effect on the front of the pocket watch. It looked amazing. You're also going to get for free the beautiful embossing folder, the Twisted Knot 4x6 embossing folder from the Modern Man collection. Again, that's super usable with all the other elements that you're getting here. And you've seen Craig use these already in the show, 2 of our metallic paint markers. So these will pretty much go down onto anything, you know, whether it be plastic, whether it be stone, whether it be card, you know, whether it be your wooden surfaces. This will work absolutely brilliantly. Gold and silver, those are also yours for free. And then last but by no means least, we've popped in the luxury mix card from Sheena's Day of the Dead collection. Not the linen card that you would normally get, but you get 24 sheets of all of this. So you get 8 sheets of the black, 8 sheets of that beautiful, highly reflective gold in the mirror, and then you get that beautiful, luxurious matte mirror, or satin mirror as some call it, and all of that is for free. It's £30.38 if you're platinum. It's $37.51. So if you are a platinum member, you're basically saving more than you are spending. $30.38 or $37.51. Thank you for all the chat, everybody. We have a winner of our Birds of Love creator card die. If I call out your name, then make sure you message us, because you need to get your die sent to you. And the winner is Margaret Birch.
Yay.
Margaret, congratulations. CTV prizes at crafterscompanion.co.uk, and we'll get that beautiful creator card die sent out to you. Thank you everyone for all the lovely comments that have come through. It's been a really fun day. It's been a long day. We've been working very hard behind the scenes here, but you will see the fruits of our labour in just a few weeks. Massive thank you to all the team. Thank you to Craig, and you are here tomorrow. We weren't supposed to be here tomorrow, but you are.
I am indeed, absolutely. So what we've got is we've got the craft vault to start with, and later on in the day we've got a master class all about background. So what I've purposely done, Ben, is I've not prepped too much, because I want you guys to get involved, and I want you to let us know within the masterclass what sort of areas do you want to focus on when it comes to backgrounds. Have a look at what we've got on the show, and we will get creative and play when it comes to the masterclass.
Yeah, and that's what we would say. That show, you know, our guys will always prep and get ready for those shows, but it's over to you, really. You make the most of those shows, especially when you've got, you know, some of the very best in the business here. Ask the questions, ask for those requests, and we'll do our very best. Thank you to all the team for today. Thank you to Jan on the socials. Thank you, of course, to Craig. Thank you to Tracy and Jake, and to Johnny and Jamie.
And to you.
Oh, thank you. Most importantly, thank you to you guys as well for having fun with us and enjoying the shows. If you've still got stuff in your baskets, make sure you do check them out. And if you want more paper, check out the website. Up to 30% off selected paper pads today with a code, which I think you will find on the website. Until tomorrow, have a brilliant rest of your Tuesday, and Craig and I will see you then. But for now,
Toodles.